the later Vedic civilization. Like the Vedic age has been classified into two major categories, that is the early Vedic age and the later Vedic age. So in the previous part, second part, I have discussed about the early Vedic age, the social life, the political life, the economic conditions and everything. Now in this particular part, I am going to discuss about the later Vedic civilization, which actually began between 1000 BCE to 600 BCE. Now here we go backwards, 1000 to 600 BC, and in this Vedic age, except the Rig Veda, all the other three Vedas have been discussed. That is Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharvaveda. That means Rig Veda is actually a part of the early Vedic age. During early Vedic age, Rig Veda was only composed. In the later Vedic age, three other Vedas were composed, and that were Samveda, Atharvaveda and Yajurveda. Now, and the other allied books like the Aryankas, Upanishads, Sutras, Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata and all these things. Now, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are considered as the great epics which we have discussed before. Now, what type of political life was led during the later Vedic age? Now, when I will be teaching you this later Vedic age, I will also relate with you the difference with the early Vedic age simultaneously at the same time. Now, political life in the later Vedic age, that was the spread of the Aryans. The Aryans started spreading themselves in the inner parts of our country, and previously Aryans came from the Hindu Kush mountain, so they occupied the northern part, but gradually they started occupying the whole of North India. Then during the later Vedic age, powerful empires came into existence, and these powerful empires were of Kulu, Panchal, Kosala, Magad, Kashi, Angdesh. Now Angdesh Rajkumar prince was Karn. So these names of these empires you will hear in Mahabharata. That is Kulu, Panchal, from where you get the Panchali, that is Draupadi. Then Kosala, Magad, Kashi and Angdesh. So all these were the empires of that particular time, and people used to perform yagyas. Like in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, we come to know about the Ashwamedha Yagya, which Ram did in order to send his Ashwamedha, and as far as that horse is going to go, that many lands would be under Ram's control. Okay, so in those times, in order to do their expansion of the territories, they used to do Ashwamedha Yagya. They used to send one horse, and that horse, as far as he will go and come back, that much land will be his. Increased powers of the king. Now, just as in the early Vedic age, we saw that the king did not have the complete autocratic power, but here the king is considered to be the supreme. All powers are in the hands of the king. Though he had his priest and his commander-in-chief, but they would follow the orders of the king. So king exercised his autocracy in the later Vedic age, which was an opposite to the early Vedic age. Then more state officials to assist. Now the king had many officials under his control, like the Purohit, the commander-in-chief, the Gramini and all the treasurer. Then he had his personal attendants. There was a chief justice also. The prison officer was also there. So these all officers were under the king. Change in the mode of warfare. Now here these Kshatriyas, they had a change in the mode of warfare. Now they started using standing armies. Standing armies means a big army would stand in front of each other and then they would fight. So that was a change in the mode of the warfare. Then social life. Now here the social life, in the social life, the status of the women had undergone a lot of change. In early Vedic age, we saw that the women were worshipped as goddesses. They had a prominent place in the society. They were educated. They had the right to choose their partners, and they had a very big role to play in the society. But in the later Vedic age, women lost their position in the society. They were under man. Man became superior. The birth of a girl child was considered to be not that good. It was not considered as a unfortunate event that girl has been born. And then the princesses were Brahmins will only become the future kings. Okay, that means no other outsider of the family can become a king. So the legacy continues with the family. Rigidity of the caste system had become very rigid. Transformation from one caste to another caste was very difficult, and intermarriages did not exist, means Vaishya cannot marry with a Shudra or Shudra cannot marry with a Brahman. Okay, and multiple caste systems. Now here in the later Vedic age, we see that Brahmanas were considered to be the supreme, then the Kshatriyas were considered the second supreme, Vaishyas and Shudras were considered as from the lower class. Shudras were considered to be from the lowest class. Now the status symbols have started originating in the society. People were given a particular status in the society. That means Shudras were considered to be very low in the society. Moral degeneration of the nobles. Now here polygamy. Polygamy means one man can marry many, or one lady can marry many men. That means like you can here have a chronic example of Draupadi having 5 husbands, right? So similarly, one king can marry several girls, several wives he can have, several husbands people can have. That is called as polygamy. And gambling became very important. Gambling started playing a very important role in politics, and killing enemies by deceit, cheating the enemy and killing him. That was also very predominant, which never happened in the early Vedic period. In early Vedic period, if the enemy is sleeping, you will not kill him. If the enemy is not having weapons, you will not kill him. But in later Vedic period, people forgot everything and they just wanted to win by hook or hook. Then stagnant life of the common man. Common man's life was the same. His food and clothing was very same. Common man started leading the life of poverty. And man's life were divided into 4 ashramas. Like 4 ashrams, we have studied. The first ashram is that of Brahmacharya. Second one is Grihastha ashram. Third is Vanaprastha ashram, and last one is Sannyas ashram. Okay. Now, economic life during the later Vedic period. How was the economy during that time? Agriculture, people used to grow cotton, wheat, barley, rice, vegetables as the chief crops, and heavy rains or droughts were their worst enemies, and people used to irrigate their fields with the help of wells and canals as it was done, and oxen used to draw their plows. So plowing was done with the help of oxen, and cow dung was used as a manure. So plow was pulled by oxen and cow dung was used as manure. These are the 2 new things in the later Vedic age. Apart from that, other practice of agriculture is just like the early Vedic age. Then domestication of animals. In early Vedic age also people domesticated animals. Here also they are domesticating animals. Trade. Now here in early Vedic age, trade was predominantly or totally through the barter system, exchange of goods. But in later Vedic age, people started doing trade with the help of coins, and these coins were called as Nishka, Satamana and Krishmana. They were used as the medium of exchange. 2 coins, that is Nishka, Satamana and Krishmana. Growth of cities. In the later Vedic age, we could see the growth of many cities like Ayodhya, where Ram was born, Hastinapur, where you have this Bhishma and the entire story of Mahabharata rotates, Kausambi, Mathura, Indraprastha. They were all well known. Religious life, rise of new gods. Now, in early Vedic age, people used to worship only the elements of nature. They had no gods. They had only Indra, Varun and Agni. Here, apart from Indra, Varun, Agni, they started worshipping Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. They started worshipping Surya, Prithvi also, and they were also worshipped by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. That means they were not worshipped, Surya, Prithvi, Agni were replaced by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Instead of worshipping the elements of nature, they started worshipping Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Religion became very complex. Tendency of sacrifice, Bali became very common. In every yagna, they have to do Bali. In every puja they have to give bali. So sacrifice became predominant. This was one of the disadvantage of the later Vedic age. Faith in charms and magic, as I told you, people started practicing black magic, white magic, charms and spells. This was the part of their life. Faith in karma and mukti theories. These people also believed in the theory of karma and moksha, salvation. Increase in the importance of brahmanas. Brahmanas means now these Brahman families, they only had the right to perform yajnas and pujas and sacrifices. Nobody else could do. So the Brahmins, they had a very big role to play in the society. So they were considered as the higher cadre, higher class people. Now, so caste system became very rigid, as I told you. People started practicing the caste system not on the basis of their profession but on the basis of their status. Then the status of women, I told we have discussed about the status of women. In early Vedic age it was worship, they were worshipped, and in later they just came under the control of man. So man became supreme to them. So with this we come to the end of this chapter, and I hope so that you have understood everything. Even I have discussed with the difference between the early Vedic age and the later Vedic